Yeah. And what does an idol do?
It sucks the
It
life out
sucks
of
the
you.
life out of you.
David talks about that all the time. You can ask my kids.
Yeah.
The kids will tell you that idols suck the life out of you. But it's easy to allow good things to become an idol when they take the place of the one best thing. So be very careful about that. Evaluate what drained you over the last year.
And you're never stuck.
And you're never stuck. Always remember that. Ask what brought the most joy and connection. What were the things that you did over the last year that just were shockingly valuable from a relationship standpoint? And you may find that they are silly things. They may be things that you hadn't really considered before as being important. But when you stop and you think about it and you look back over the last year, you may find that some of those things that seemed small gave the most opportunity for discipleship, for connection, for building those relationships. Those are the things that you really want to make more time for in this new homeschool year.
Mm-hmm.
So look at those things, and then finally ask yourself when you're at your best. When are your kids at your best? David was just telling me right before we recorded this about a book that he's reading that was very, very telling on this.
I'm not far enough into it yet, so but I'm far enough into it that there has been a really illuminating truth that's in it. And the illuminating truth is that you do what you're best at when you're at your best. And it really gets into these cycles that we're at.
Say that again.
Well, you do what you're best at when you're at your best.
Yes.
So, we all have our cycles, right? There's morning people, there's late night people, right? You and I used to argue about this when we were first married.
We're still arguing about this. When do we go to bed? My time does not line up with his, and yet we always go to bed together.
I mean, Leslie's always telling me she would love it if she could get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, that would be nice. But when we were really younger, it was even more far apart. I would wake up at like 10 p.m. and she was done.
You get a second win.
I'd get my second win. But the point is that everybody has a cycle, and you shouldn't feel the pressure to do things that on the same cycle as everybody else. So every homeschool parent, mom and dad, they have their own cycle. They're better at certain points of the day. And I'm not talking about morning or afternoon. It may be like a 2 to 3 hour period in the middle of the day. That's when you're at your best. And you should be doing what you're best at when you're at your best. And so that your kids may have a different cycle as well. And it is incumbent on you as the parent, as the homeschool teacher, to actually understand when your child is at their best as well. And so when I hear Leslie talk about, we would do our discussion about devotions at breakfast, and then we would kind of slide right into our living subjects, which were history and literature, and you guys would actually go through and you would read history together, which the kids still talk about even today, and they credit that history class, which was Mystery of History. We're just going to go ahead and throw that out there.
Shout out Linda LaCour Hobart.
Yeah, shout out to Linda LaCour Hobart. That they still say, thank you.
Yeah.
Regarding that. There are some families in here that living subjects are not exactly their best thing. It's the math and it's the sciences. Sure. And so maybe you go into devotions, talk about your devotions, and then you come right out of that, and then you guys all do math and science.
The stair-step subjects, which would be more math, language arts, as far as the grammar and the stuff like that, the stuff that requires a little bit more thought, the spelling, that kind of thing. So understanding the rhythm of when you are at your best, when your kids are at their best, those things, once you figure that out and set your day up that way, it will make a huge difference in how your day flows and the peace and the joy that comes through it. Because when you're fighting and you're asking people to do their highest level of thinking when they're groggy or when they're whatever, they're not at their best, that it's going to impact how much they enjoy it and how well they do it. So those four questions, I'm going to go over them again. I'll leave them in the show notes. But as you are reflecting on last year and going into this year, ask yourself and have these conversations, these four questions. What worked? What drained us? What brought us the most joy and connection? And what are you or when are you at your best? Those are the four questions that are really going to give a lot of structure to this reflection and making sure that last year's struggles don't follow you into this year, because you can reevaluate things as you go. Um, David was talking earlier about those small adjustments that make for big change. And there really are several things that you can do going into this year that can make massive, massive changes with you. And honestly, every veteran homeschool parent knows these well, because we've all done them so many times. And the first thing is tweaking the rhythm of your day. And David was just talking about this. For our family, all the stuff that we did together, all of that, which the living subjects are stuff that you can generally do together. The stair step subjects are the ones that you have to do more individually. So all the stuff that we could do together, the cuddle up on the couch subjects, we did early in the morning, and it started our day off beautifully. It was peaceful. It was sweet. It was relational. Then when we branched out into those stair step subjects, the kids were more ready. That was normally after playtime. After a snack, they were revving up and ready to go. Just a little plug here. I did a workshop in 365 a few years ago that talked about exercise and its impact on our kids. If your kids go outside and play for like 20 minutes, they are going to be thinking more clearly and working better for the next 3 hours. So send your kids out to play. Give them time to run. That is one of the things that I will never understand, why the public school system is really shrinking that playtime when we should be expanding it. Let your kids play a lot. It's so good for the function of their brain. That's a total aside, just a freebie there that I threw in. Um, but tweaking the rhythm of your day to make sure that you are setting it up, not based on what somebody else does, but based on the rhythm that makes the most sense for your family.